The pooper scooper industry is more popular than ever, and it feels like a new company is popping up every single day. But how do all these new scoopers really impact your business? In this video, I'm going to break it all down for you. I'm going to talk about how we deal with competition up in the Pacific Northwest. I'm going to talk about how all these new companies are impacting the market. And finally, I'm going to talk about my best tips to stand out in a competitive marketplace and make sure your pooper scooper business is going to be around for years to come. Let's get right into it. For those who don't know, my name is William. I'm the president of a multi-seven-figure pooper scooper business in the Pacific Northwest and the founder of the Poop Scoop Millionaire community on School. And when it comes to competition, I kind of feel like we've seen it all. We've had anything from landscapers start offering pooper scooper services. We've had random startups that started their business, went out of business. We've had existing competitors that have been in the market for years and years and years. And we've even had some weird stuff happen. We've had, employees quit, try to write down our customers' addresses and try to start their own businesses that way. There's been a lot of interesting things that has happened. And in general, I would say our philosophy is to try to have a good relationship with our competitors, because you never know when that comes in handy. I know for us, a lot of the times, if there's a competitor that operates in one service area and we maybe have a little bit of overlap, but not full overlap, we can refer clients back and forth. It also opens the opportunity to acquire a route or acquire customers if somebody wants to go out of business or if they want to move out of the area. So in general, I think it's a really good idea to have a good business relationship with your competitors. That is, if they are good, ethical people. So I'll tell you a couple funny stories of things that have happened to us and kind of how we dealt with those situations with competitors, if you want to call them that. So let's get into it. All right, so real quick, just a couple funny story about competitors that we experienced in the last couple of years. The first of which being an actual employee that got a job at Poop Scoop, and I think their spouse at the time was trying to set up their own dog waste removal company. So they thought they would infiltrate our company, try to write down some of our customer addresses and whatnot, and just try to take some of our customers and our systems and things like that. And that employee actually ended up getting fired for poor performance fairly quickly, so they didn't really get a lot of information from us, not that they really could. And then they started trying to go after some of the customer houses that they had visited while they worked for us, and they pretty much acquired 0 customers, and within a couple months they ended up going out of business, which is kind of too bad for them, but I don't feel so bad because of kind of how they went about things. Another kind of funny story is there's a big national franchise, and for whatever reason, they decided to put our logo on their website. Said it named a conference like the Scoop Swoop Conference, something like that. And our attorneys had a talk with them, ended up removing the logo, not going to use that name anymore. And literally within, a couple weeks, maybe even a week, they announced they're going to open a location in our home city, our headquarters, to really stick it to us. They even literally came to my old house because that address was listed somewhere online, put a yard sign up there like they were trying to intimidate us or something. I have no idea, but pretty funny. They haven't gained much traction at all, and I'll be curious to see if they even make it kind of through the year. So this is some kind of crazy stuff that happens in business. This kind of thing also carries over to the online world. As many of you know, we have the Poop Scoop Millionaire community, a place to help people getting into the dog waste removal industry with courses, live trainings, community discounts, an active community of over 500 members. And people are wanting to, emulate that right now. So there's literally a group, somebody started on the same platform of School called the Poop Scoop Millionaire. I'm not making this up. I think they got 5 members. It might be 5 of their own accounts. I don't know. But it was pretty funny. So I'm going to have to come up with the Poop Scoop Trillionaire or the Poop Scoop Cajillionaire, something just to keep up with these guys, because they're really breaking that wall down and doing some innovative things. We've also had a couple times now, we've had members join our group, end up leaving and try to start their own group. One of them actually even went as far as to reach out to all of our coaches, many of our vendors, many of our active members, to try to get them to join their own community. And I literally can't make this stuff up. Allegedly, this person reached out to one of our vendors and he had owed them money for quite a while and just had not been paying the bill. So obviously that got back to me, got put on my radar, but not something I'm too concerned about, because at the end of the day, kind of our philosophy on competition is that losers are going to focus on winners and winners are going to focus on winning. So as all these things were happening to us as far as competition goes, we literally gained thousands of customers at Poop Scoop, and we've seen some massive gains at the Poop Scoop Millionaire as well. We're literally a top 1% community on the platform. Last month, we were the 17th fastest growing community, and I think we're ranked in the top, right around the top 50-ish as far as best communities of all time out of the, I think, tens of thousands or maybe even more communities on the school platform. So that just goes to show that when you focus on yourself and you focus on winning and actually making your company better, you're going to have a better outlook in the future. I mean, some of these people that are trying to do the same things as us, I think we've literally gained more clients than them in a week or two than they ever have in their entire business. So just goes to show that you need to focus on your own business, and that's how you really win at the end of the day. All right, so that's enough about us. Let's get into how all these new pooper scoopers entering the market are actually impacting the market kind of as a whole. And I find this kind of interesting. I hear a lot of people talking about new competition coming into their area, and yes, this is definitely true, but how much impact does it have? It's going to vary a bit from location to location, but I really just want to start off by saying that the level of competition in this industry is absolutely nothing compared to other industries. If you're looking at major trades like electricians or plumbers or HVAC or something even more similar to us like housekeeping or lawn care, like the number of companies in these industries is just absolutely crazy. I did a quick search in our area and I got some data from the Better Business Bureau. Just in our area, there are 3 pooper scooper companies that came up on their search, which there's a little bit more than that now. There's over 642 lawn care companies. So, I mean, literally the level of market saturation is like absolutely nothing. Like if you're looking at any of these other trades, carpet cleaning, anything like that, there's probably dozens, if not hundreds of companies in your area. So just something to keep in mind. As far as how they impact some of our advertising costs, that's probably a big concern for a lot of people. If we're looking at Facebook ads, we're bidding per impression in most cases, and not so much competing against other pooper scoopers. Most of the marketing budget's going to be held by big national companies that are selling pet products, other people that are targeting dogs, and not necessarily other pooper scoopers. Might have a very minor impact, if any at all. But most of the people that are raising the prices of Facebook advertising are going to be those big national brands with massive budgets. When we talk at Google ads, for example, that's where things get a little bit more interesting because only so many people can be on the first page of Google. If you want one of the top ad spots, one of the top map ranking spots, one of the top organic ranking spots, there's only so many companies that can show up there. But in our industry, there's still really low search volume. I own an electrical company, I also own the pooper scooper business. When we started, there was over 1,000 searches a month for electricians and maybe 20 to 30 for the pooper scooper service. So as more people get into the industry, it's going to bring more awareness, and ultimately it's going to bring more search volume. And basically what that means is you're just going to have a bigger slice of the pie to eat off of if you're able to do your Google marketing the correct way. So that's just kind of my 2 cents on how things are impacting the market. Obviously, this is going to vary a little bit depending on your location and depending if 50 new companies pop up tomorrow versus 1 or 2, depending on whatever your market you're in. With that in mind, I'm going to go over some tips that can actually help you outshine your competitors, especially if you're already established business and you're seeing a lot of these newbies get into the market. I'm also going to share some tips for newbies on how they can stand out as well. So probably one of the best tips I have for actually standing out in a competitive market is going to be something that applies to pretty much all companies. It doesn't matter if you don't have any customers yet, you're just getting started, or you've been around for years and you have thousands of customers on your route. You're still going to make a big impact on either of your businesses. And that thing is going to be response time. This thing has been studied quite extensively. Harvard's done studies on it. The one I'm looking at right now was from Velocify. And they say that if you are able to respond to a lead within the first 1 minute, you have over a 390% greater chance of actually converting that lead into a customer, which is massive. There's not a lot of other things you can do to almost 4x the output of your customer intake process. So super important. I've seen some other studies. They say that you're up to 8 times more likely to close customers if you get to them within 5 minutes. And as time goes on, those conversion odds are going to go down and down and down and down and down. And that's why going into 2025, response time is one of our top priorities for our company, because it's really hard out there for people to actually do it. If you don't have a VA, you don't have office staff, you don't have multiple office staff, you don't have a call center, it's easy for things to fall through the cracks. And if you can tighten that up, it's going to be one of the biggest impact things that you can actually do to grow your business. So having a fast response time is great, but this next tip to stand out in a competitive market might be even more important and more impactful for your business. And it's also pretty simple. Essentially, all you need to do to stand out in a competitive market is maximize your customer lifetime value. So how much money does a customer pay you over the lifetime that they're actually getting services from your business. And the reason why this is so important is because if you have a higher customer lifetime value, you're going to be able to afford to spend more money on marketing. You're going to be able to spend a couple $100s to acquire a customer because you know you're going to make that money back on the other side once they get processed through your business. Whereas some of your competitors might not be able to do that. Say your lifetime value is $3,000, there's just $1,500 because they don't have as good follow-up, they don't have good systems, they don't have as good of service. You're going to be able to win because you can afford to spend twice as much money to get customers. So super important. There's a couple ways to actually increase that lifetime value. One is you raise your prices. That's probably the simplest way to go about it. The other is that you reduce your churn, so reduce the number of customers that cancel every single month. There's a wide variety of ways to actually go about that. Providing great service is definitely one of them. And then kind of the third and final way that you can increase your customer lifetime value is to have something else to sell people. So whether you're offering deodorizer services or something else like that, that's also going to contribute, increase your customer lifetime value, and ultimately increase how much money you're able to spend on marketing. And if that's more than your competitors, you're probably going to win. So my next tip for standing out in a competitive market is actually hiring an awesome team of people. As you start to scale, as you start to get bigger, you really can't do everything yourself, and you need to get good people around you that are able to help drive the business forward, whether you're there or not. For us, we've built out an entire kind of hiring system. We have a full employee training system right on school. Something that I highly recommend doing. Every single job position we have is built out with training videos from CSRs to sales reps to field managers to operations managers. That has been a total game changer for us, but also just really hiring higher quality talent. So we do tend to pay our employees more. We offer benefits, things like that, to be able to actually attract the talent. And I will tell you, it is well worth every single penny to have that extra retention and also be able to bring in some high skilled people. So as we're growing, we're bringing in some bigger positions, whether they're operations managers, marketing managers, HR managers, directors, those type of people that have worked for $10 million plus companies and are able to take that same skill set to our company and help us grow even faster. And I'll tell you, we are building a awesome team right now, and I couldn't be happier with how things are going for us. But do keep that in mind. If you're able to build a good team, you're going to be able to go a lot further in your business. That's why I also made this free guide right here on YouTube about our hiring process and how you can also hire better employees for your business. It'll be floating around somewhere up here, so go ahead and click on that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and happy scooping.